Hello everyone, welcome back to another Geoguessr tips and tricks video. This one is over the continent of Asia. Probably the second biggest in terms of like countries in the entire game. But yeah, let's get into the tips and tricks for every country in Asia. Oh, by the way, whenever I get to 500 subscribers, I will do a tips and tricks video going over every single country in the entire world for the ultimate GeoGuessr guide, to GeoGuessr beginner guide. But so make sure to subscribe. Anyways, let's get into the video. So I'm doing all the countries that have car coverage. So like China has some tracker coverage, but I'm not counting China in this. So starting with this one. This is very unique because of the landscape, but don't worry about that. Worry about this Google car here. You see this exact back of the truck, you are in Christmas Island, which is owned by Australia, but it's in Asia. I'm probably going to be decently fast this video, so yeah. Okay, so immediately it feels kind of Mediterranean-ish. We have black car, and yeah, so black car, Arabic. So yeah, black car, Arabic, Mediterranean. That'll lead you to Jordan because Israel would have an antenna with the black car and would not be Arabic. So we are in Jordan. Okay, this Google car, you might have seen this Google car before. You might have seen one of my videos. But we have Cyrillic, but that doesn't really matter because this Google car you see in Kyrgyzstan. Okay, this country's gonna be a little harder to explain, but it's Southeast East Asia. You can tell by the mountains with the tropical, but also not really that tropical feel. This roof, this language, which says Indonesia, but normally you won't see that. But you have a semi-black car. You can tell by the blur, and overall this is just a really Indonesian round. There's not much else to go. But also this like tile roof, you see it more in the islands that are not Java. So I'm gonna go to the West Sea. Okay, in this one we have black car with an antenna with right here we have a yellow plate. And it's pretty Mediterranean, and we have Hebrew right here, so we're in Israel. But also, there's also Arabic here, so it could be Palestine or the West Bank. So when it feels more like this, like dry, rocky, mountainous with Arabic always on the signs, you're probably going to be in Palestine, but you could still be in Israel. Okay, so here's another example of Hebrew, and we have Arabic, but we also see the name of an Israeli city, Nazareth. I think I know where Nazareth is, yeah. Yellow plates. It feels a lot less like the previous round, but it's still Israel. Okay, we have this language that is very iconic. There says the name of a city right there, Izmir. We are in Turkey. And this bollard is also the Turkish bollard, same as the chevron. And of course, the language. So Turkey usually feels a lot more like Spain, Greece, and Italy compared to others. So, but it's pretty easy to tell when you're in Turkey. Okay, we have something called crap cam, which is found in a lot of countries. And the biggest country would be India. But in Asia, you can see it in India, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, and Lebanon. So most of the time, you just want to go in India. But if you're driving on the right, you want to go Cambodia, if you know you're in Asia. Okay, so we have this blue, white, red car, which you only find in Gen 3 Sri Lanka. And something about Sri Lanka is that Sri Lanka has two sets of coverage, Gen 3 and Gen 4. Gen 3 always has this car, and Gen 4 has low cam, which we're gonna see soon. Okay, so here we are with more crap cam, and it feels a little more Mediterranean, you'd say. And we've Arabic, so we're in Lebanon. Lebanon barely has any coverage, but it always looks like this. Okay, this is an interesting one. This road's very iconic, very easy to tell. It's very Siberian, very just like in out, it's just nowhere. But you know it's Russia since you black car long antenna, but very flat, not that cold. Cabbage, where could you be? Well, there's a certain island called Sakhalin that's owned by Russia that is known for growing a lot of cabbage, and with the western coast, where also Siberia would really work. So we're gonna be on this road most likely. Yeah, this entire road's very iconic, right? So the camera is lower to the ground. We don't have a car to tell, but it is lower to the ground. It's decent easy to tell. So we're gonna be in Japan or Sri Lanka, but this is not Sri Lanka. Very obviously. So we're in Japan. And when you have the pole with the arrow pointing out the edge of the road, you're in the island of Hokkaido. Okay, so this country I was considering putting on here, but it does technically have car coverage. And you see it quite a lot, which is Pakistan. So Pakistan looks like India without the crap cam, but usually it's trekker around Lahore. That's most of the coverage. Okay, so very mountainous with white car. This car is associated with like Chile, Philippines, Bhutan, maybe a few others, but it's like super mountainous, maybe like Himalayas type of mountainous. So yeah, we were in Bhutan. And also in Bhutan, you are very likely to see like rocks following the side of the road, acting as like a slight barrier, kind of like this, but different, like actual whole rocks. Okay, so this language, it looks like a lot of U's. That's Thai, but this one is not the same as Thai because there's also some other interesting things. And also, Thailand drives on the left. We are driving on the right, and Thailand does not use yellow plates. So yellow plates, Thai language, a Lao flag, and right side driving. We are in Lao, and Lao only has coverage in a few cities like Vientiane, Luang Prabang, Vang Vienne, Savannah Cats, Paxi, yeah. Normally just go Vientiane. Okay, we're back with craft cam, but it's not Mediterranean-esque. We have a bollard as well. Um, yeah. It would not be this green in Lebanon, so we were in India. But it's pretty mountainous, like very mountainous, so you should probably go more north. And this type, I would go Uttarakhand, Sikkim, or Arunachal. But this one's Uttarakhand. Okay, we're back in Turkey. We have the Turkish bollards. We have the European style sign. The grainy road. It just looks grainy. And of course the Turkish chevron. So we were in Turkey, but it looks different than the last one. It doesn't feel as much like Spain, so you should probably go more East Turkey. Okay, so we were in something that could be craft cam, but I wouldn't consider it craft cam. I'd just call it bad camera. But it looks like that Thai round. It looks, well, it looks like the Lao round. It looks like Southeast Asia, but with red soil. A short plate that's just pure white. Gives away the country in Southeast Asia. Since we were on right side driving, the plate and all this would be Eastern Thailand and Cambodia. Cambodia drives right, Thailand drives left, and their languages are different. So yeah, red soil. These two are very commonly have red soil like this. Okay, so we have black car and outer yellow lines. Outer yellow lines like this you see in the Middle East and Southern Africa. So we're in the Middle East. Countries that have coverage are Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. So with black car, we're gonna be in Jordan. Sometimes UAE, but Jordan. Also, Israel would have an antenna. And where in Jordan would it have water? The lake. So we were on this lake. Okay, we have more Arabic, outer yellow lines, but with a white car this time. So we're gonna be in the United Arab Emirates in the east, because that's where the mountains are. Okay, so we have left side driving. We have this language that this country likes to. This country has a lot of official languages. It's very flat. We would normally have black and white curbs, but this is just the pinnacle of a Singapore round. Not much else to explain. I should have gotten a better spot for Singapore. But Singapore is very iconic when you get it a few times and learn like the landscape. Okay, we have language. So this type of language you would only see in Southeast Asia. And since the Indochina has their own script, we're gonna be in Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. So we can cut off some of them by seeing which side of the road we're driving on, and we're driving on the right. So we're gonna be in the Philippines. And also their language is a bit different because we have a mix of English and Spanish in there as well. You can just say, Ronaldo, welcome to the blah blah blah. Okay, so this country, very flat, very deserty, has a lot of unique Google cars, especially this one. This one, we're in Mongolia. When you see this exact Google car, you are on this road right here, from here to here. We have another Google car country. This pickup truck you see in most of the new coverage, like in Panama, Sao Tome, Lebanon technically, even though Lebanon was covered in craft cam, so it kind of overrides it. New Senegal coverage, but importantly here, Kazakhstan, because without the car, I mean, it still looks like Kazakhstan, but it's very Russian-like, and Russian. It's also very rural and flat, which is a big country would normally. So we were in probably northern Kazakhstan because it looks a bit like Russia. We have yellow inner lines dashed, so it means we are going to be in Indonesia or Thailand. And this is the Latin script, so we're in Indonesia. And just the amount that it's like developed, and there's a lot of English around. And then you could probably also see a sign that says Denpasar somewhere. Right here, we're in Bali, which is in Indonesia and a part of Indonesia. Okay, this one is kind of one that it's kind of like this one's basically just what I say. I call this double concrete, which doesn't really make sense, but it just looks more like concrete than the normal concrete. It just looks like super concrete. I associate that with the Philippines, because the road really stands out here, and it's just pure concrete. There's nothing else, but you do see in Thailand, like Indonesia, sometimes, but it's mainly a Filipino thing. Very flat, very deserty, Middle East like with Arabic. If you look behind you, you see a big blur. This is because they blurred out the Google car, the same car that's using Kazakhstan, which you also see in Qatar. So, once again, kind of has that Southeast Asian type vibe. You might be like, oh, so like Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, with all white lines, like Australian or Chilean lines, you're probably going to be in Malaysia. And if there's more elevation, you either go just like normal mainland or like very far east. Red soil I do associate more with Sabah, but I feel like this one, it could be either. The difference between Peninsula and Borneo Island is mainly just experience with Malaysia. You There's not really things that just tell you which island it is. So it could be over here, but it wasn't. Okay, so once again we have the Malaysian road lines, but there's more elevation. It's like a very red tint. Usually I go Sabah on this, which is this province over here. Don't take that too seriously, although it is what I use to guess. If you use that, it'll probably be over here. Okay, so the first thing you can notice is that the camera feels off. It's because this is low cam, so like, oh, it's Japan. But no, there's three countries with low cam. Sri Lanka, Gen 4 Sri Lanka also has low cam, because also there's no world where this is Japan, with this like tropical vibe with mountains like this. No. And then this country, there's a lot of winter coverage, a lot of like dead trees, dead mountains, black car, which this one, it is black car. But the main thing about this country is the language. This is South Korea. The how to tell Korean is you see Japanese or Chinese, but then you see a ton of circles in the name. Like look in Sejong, there's circles, so circle here, circle. There's a lot of circles. Okay, so we have black car antenna. We're in Russia, and that's about it. It's very flat, very Siberian. So from here to here, pretty much. So just get lucky. But also this kind of feels like northern Mongolia, so I'm guessing near Mongolia, and it was near Mongolia. So if you play a little bit, you'll be like, oh, this could be like Singapore or something. But we have a long plate. Singapore doesn't use long plate. It's very developed, a lot of tall buildings. Of course, there's Chinese, but we have yellow plates and left side driving, which they both use. So we are in Hong Kong. Not the best example of Hong Kong, but it's Hong Kong. Hong Kong is pretty easy to recognize. Okay, speaking of Hong Kong, so we have double yellow lines. That is mainly a thing reserved for the Western Hemisphere, but one of the only countries that's not in the Western Hemisphere that uses that is Taiwan. And also these poles, the yellow and black striped. If it goes all the way down, you're in Taiwan. If it doesn't go all the way down, you're in South Korea. And if they're not striped but like different, you're in Japan. So yeah, we're in mountainous part of Taiwan. Okay, so yeah, we have dashed yellow lines. So we're going to be in Indonesia or Thailand most likely, because it's not double lines. But Indonesia would have three things on the top of their poles. Thailand would not, so this is going to be Thailand most likely. Okay, this is new coverage that I first knew about like very recently. This is a brand new unique Google car. But it's kind of like the normal Mongolian car. But yeah, Mongolia has new coverage. They have Gen 4 now. And I don't know all where the coverage is, but I know there's a lot of coverage up in the northeast. I mean, in the northwest of Mongolia. Wow. So if you see that car, I'd probably go northwest, because that's the only place where I know that car is. So you see a lot of Chinese. So you're like, okay, there's no yellow lines, so we're in Hong Kong, which would be very fair. Although it's Gen 2 camera, aka big blur, kind of dark in colors, and there would be a halo in the sky. But then if we find a language right here, Hong Kong would have Chinese and English. That's not English, that's Portuguese, which you'd see in Macau. So Macau, you have Gen 2 Chinese and Portuguese. Okay, so we once again have low cam. We can see the car this time, so it makes it a lot easier, but we are in Japan. We've seen this car. This is the car you see in Kazakhstan, but it feels different. It's more wintry, more hilly, so you should probably go more south, like this road. And yeah, that is it for Tips and Tricks Asia Edition. Remember, when I get to 500 subscribers, I will do the ultimate beginner guide and giving one or two tips for every single country in the entire world, so that way if you click on a game, you'll know the country. Anyways, bye bye.